And so I thought maybe it would help to talk about it. And then when I did talk about it, I totally regretted it because I was shocked at the way people reacted to me. But what that moment taught me was some of the characteristics of the quote unquote left that I thought were good, right? Like the kindness, the open-mindedness, the willingness to go out of your way to look out for people who need help, like that kind of stuff. There's a portion of the left that has shed those characteristics. They've taken on a more nihilistic approach to things, and they don't even believe in reforms. They just believe that everything about every political system, every program we have, every institution we have is just worthless and we need to burn it all down. Okay. So that nihilistic nature, I think, leads to a lot of really bad ideas and terrible behavior online. And that's pushing people out, pushing people away. And you look at places like Los Angeles, for instance, right? Or Cook County, which is where Chicago is. I paid very close attention to Cook County and what the election results were going to be in Cook County, because you have an influx of migrants going to Chicago, right? You have a lot of anger among the Black community in Chicago because they've been nickel and dimed by their local government.
It's crazy.
And at the same time, their mayor, Brandon Johnson, is doling out the cash for migrants and justifying it. And so they're angry. And so I'm watching all of this happen, and I'm just like, Democrats need to wake up. Mm-hmm. Because more and more voters feel like they're being abandoned by the Democratic Party, economically speaking. And everyone got mad at me. Everyone's like, oh, you're anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Once again, we got to react to AnaKasparian dropping truth bombs on the Democrat Party and the far left. In fact, there are quite a few individuals coming out and going straight to the media that our Democrats are on the left and they are trashing the Democrat Party. They're saying, you know what? This party is toxic as hell. This party is not something that I really want to be a part of. I don't want to be associated with these people because these people have lied and gaslit this country for the last 4 years. And hey, I'm trying to distance myself from these people who are becoming increasingly unpopular among the electorate, among regular, normal, everyday folks, okay? I mean, it is almost like a stigma nowadays to be associated with the Democrat Party or to be a Democrat. It's like, ew, you're a Democrat, right? I mean, there's a reason why you didn't see that many people with Joe Biden hair signs when Biden was running for president, and there's a reason why you didn't see that many people with Kamala Tim Walz signs or hat or paraphernalia when she was running for president. Is because, again, when people know that you're a Democrat, people automatically have negative thoughts and feelings about you, right? And yeah, I mean, that's what it is at this point, okay? It is a stigma, and it's a worse stigma than being a Trump supporter. Being a Trump supporter is just being a normal person, right? At this point, if you are a Trump supporter, people are like, oh yeah, this is a normal person, right? At least they're grounded in reality. Okay, so that's basically what we have to talk about here today, because AnaKasparian is going to admit to Glenn Beck that part of the reason why she has abandoned the left is because of the fact that they refuse to acknowledge reality when it comes to certain issues like illegal immigration. And I want to react to it because what she's saying here is 100% spot on about how the liberal media lies on behalf of the Democrat Party, because they're still continuing to lie on behalf of the Democrat Party when it comes to the issue of illegal immigration. Take a look.
You're saying something, sir, that's significant. I just want to make sure I'm clear, which is that you're saying, yes, you're going to focus on the people with criminal histories, but everyone who's here illegally has to go.
I'm saying this. We have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to get people that were taken out of mental institutions and put them back into their mental institution, no matter what country it is. Do you know that Venezuela, their prisons are at the lowest point in terms of emptiness that they've ever been? They're taking their people out of those prisons by the thousands, and they're drunk. And just to get back, because I know exactly what you're getting at. Number one, we're doing criminals, and we're going to do them really rapidly. We're getting the worst gang probably with MS-13 and the Venezuelan gangs are the worst in the world. They're vicious, violent people. And you see what they've done in Colorado and other places. They're taking over, literally taking over apartment complexes and doing it with impunity. They don't care. They couldn't. They just are. They're in the real estate business.
You know, the local police say that is not the case in Colorado.
Oh, it's totally the case. I mean, you
don't believe the local police.
I play it. I used to play it at my rallies every single night. No, they're breaking into doors. They're taking over the building.
But sir, you
and by the way,
the
police are afraid to do anything.
You raised the point that the logistics are complicated. You said
Sure
it yourself.
They are,
you would
but everything's complicated.
Yeah, you mean you need 24 times more ICE detention capacity just to deport 1 million people per year, not to mention more agents, more judges, more planes. Is it realistic to deport everyone who's here illegally?
You have no choice. First of all, they're costing us a fortune. But we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes.
Who are the others?
Others are other people outside of criminals. We have convicted murders. We don't mean people that are even on trial. We have people that have murdered numerous people are on our streets and in our farms, and we have to get them out of our country.
Yeah, so what you have there is Kirsten Welker essentially denying reality about how illegal immigrant gangs have taken over apartment complexes in Colorado. Okay, we know this is a fact. We know that this is true. But yet, again, the media denies it just simply because it doesn't go along with the Democrat Party narrative. Okay, and this is exactly what AnaKasparian is going to talk about here with Glenn Beck. And I just find it to be very refreshing that Anna continues to come out and to drop truth bombs like this on the Democrat Party, because she is saying the exact same things that I'm saying, that everybody else is saying. And it really shows you just how much the Democrat Party in the far left, they have essentially distanced themselves from everyday normal people. Again, where you just have the Democrats living in a completely different reality than everybody else. So let's get into it.
I can definitely be honest about my own flaws and my own mistakes, because I bought the mainstream media narrative that there wasn't a migrant crisis.
Really?
And yeah, I did believe it. I believe, because look, I was an idiot, because I mean, who do you trust in today's media landscape?
I know.
Right? There's a lot of liars out there.
Yeah,
and when it comes to mainstream media, the fact of the matter is they do play defense more and more for the Democratic Party. And that's an issue, because there was a time when that didn't happen. And so I still believed in their good faith reporting, even though it turns out, a lot of these reports would omit really important details about what's really going on. And so it wasn't until Texas Governor Greg Abbott started busing or sending migrants to blue cities where that woke me up. That woke a lot of people up. And suddenly America realizes, oh, there is a migrant crisis.
Why did that wake you up?
Well, because all of a sudden you're seeing migrants sleeping on the floor in the police department in Chicago because they don't have shelter for these people, right? You're seeing, these. I love watching streams of city council meetings, because that's how you understand what's really going on in these cities, right? These are real people who live there, and they get their opportunity to speak.
Chicago's been an amazing thing to watch.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. That is why a lot of the videos on my channel, at least before the election, and it'll probably be that way after Trump is in the office and stuff like that, I'm covering a lot of local news stories, right? Because in order to understand exactly what's going on, you need to understand how people feel on the ground, right? The local news stories are really the news stories that can give you a sense of how the country is doing, right? And the crazy part about the whole illegal immigrant thing and the migrant crisis and what's happening in these liberal cities is that it hasn't been covered by any mainstream liberal media outlet except Fox News, right? Fox News is the only legacy media outlet that has covered the local illegal immigrant crisis problem. Every other outlet has ignored it, period. And then they wonder why people aren't watching them, right? Why do people watch Fox News more so than MSNBC and CNN? It's because MSNBC and CNN, they spend all their time fear-mongering about Trump and defending Democrats instead of actually covering the real stories that are happening in these cities that people care about. Like, again, crime, which they denied the reality of crime, and illegal immigration. But again, they can't do that because it made the Democrats look bad, okay, especially at the local level. So they just ignored it. But again, if you're actually paying attention to what was happening on the ground, you could see that there was a lot of anger and backlash towards Democrats over their governance, right? And then lo and behold, you have all these Democrats, these progressives getting voted out across the country in these cities, along with the fact that at the national level, the Democrat Party got swept. So again, if you paid attention to what was happening on the ground, you wouldn't be surprised at all about the backlash that the Democrat Party is getting.
I watch every city council meeting from Chicago because it's
crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And for me, rather than relying on mainstream media reporting or anyone's reporting, to be quite honest with you, what I'll do is I'll go out of my way and I'll watch, the entirety of a government function, local government function. Mm-hmm. I talk to real people and I get a sense of where hearts and minds really are. And so on election night, I wasn't surprised at all. I knew what was coming. I totally knew what was coming. I knew that Cook County was going to swing, I think it's about 8 percentage points toward Republicans. I knew LA County, and this is what I was surprised about. I did not expect Donald Trump to flip 10 counties in California from blue to red. But I guess I shouldn't have been surprised about that either, because when you look at the conditions that people are living in a Democrat-controlled state, well, yeah, you can understand why people are turning their backs on the Democratic Party. You can understand why people are frustrated at the corruption, at the loss of $24 billion that was allocated to help the homeless, when homelessness only exploded during that time, and that money is now unaccounted for. It was funneled to nonprofits whose executives get paid minimum $200,000, $250,000 a year. And they have multiple executives who are making at least that or more. And you just see the waste and you see the real grift. And so for people out there who are concerned about the grifters, take a good hard look at the systemic grifting that's happening right now. It's disgusting.
Yeah. The real grift that's happening is the grift within the Democrat Party. Like she pointed out, these people will spend billions of your taxpayer dollars. Chicago, LA, New York City, Washington, D.C., Boston. They will spend billions, and then they will funnel that money to illegal immigrants, mainly the nonprofits that are helping out the illegal immigrants, a.k.a. their buddies, right? A.k.a. their friends. That's what's happening. Chicago is essentially on the verge of having a credit downgrade because Brandon Johnson wants to make sure that his teachers unions buddies get their pensions, right? Get their salary increases, even though the outcomes in regards to education for children in Chicago is disastrous, right? Chicago public schools are an absolute disaster, but hey, the teachers got to get paid. They got to get that raise. And if you don't agree with that, then you're a racist, okay? You're a bigot. And a lot of people are seeing through this. A lot of people are seeing the grift, right? The real grift for what it is, which is Democrats in it for themselves, in it to get themselves rich, while at the same time pointing the finger at the so-called rich, saying, no, they're the problem, right? They're your enemy. When no. Behind closed doors, when you're focused on the rich, right? They're the ones that are actually getting rich. They're the ones that are actually benefiting from smuggling your taxpayer dollars into their pockets, into the pockets of their friends, okay? And that's exactly what happened in California. That's exactly what happened in Chicago, happened in New York, happened in all these liberal cities across the country. So, again, it's crazy to me how leftists have to actually experience the things that they advocated for in order to realize that they're bad, right? I mean, conservatives can tell you just using common sense, hey, unfettered illegal immigration, not good, right? Bad, okay? We know this, just logic, right? Basic logic, common sense. But leftists, on the other hand, they got to experience the consequences of being soft on crime, of unfettered illegal immigration for them to realize, okay, this is not good, right? This is not good policy. That's the problem, right? It shouldn't take all this for somebody like AnaKasparian to wake up and to say, hey, I realized that I was wrong on these issues. You should have realized that you were wrong on these issues years ago. But hey, better late than never. Never late is better. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.